Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys figure review. Now today we're going to be having a look at a pretty recent acquisition, and that is the quarter scale Hot Toys Dark Knight Returns Batman figure. So obviously if you've been following along on my channel, you'll notice that I've picked up the Batman Begins figure, and I was planning on picking up the Joker, but that did mean that I had to go down the route of finding myself a Dark Knight Rises Batman. Now this Batman comes with a ton of accessories. Apparently the cape is pretty bad, but luckily the guy that I actually bought this figure off, he'd already bought a Tony May cape, and that Tony May cape is far more impressive from what I can tell compared to the stock one. I do have the stock one, it's still in the plastic in the box, I'm not going to take it out. I just felt the texture of it and it's just way off, so I'm going to stick with the Tony May one. But either way, I know you can't really get a good idea of the size of the box just because I'm laying it down in my light box because it is so big. It does not fit vertically. So this is the best I can do with showing off this box in the white backdrop. But anyway, what we're going to do now is get all of the accessories out here and take a look at everything he comes with. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've ever had a figure that comes with so many and such large accessories as this guy does. I mean, you can just see how much stuff he comes with. It fills up my entire reviewing space. There's just accessories from one side to the other. So first things first, what we'll start off with is the cowl, because obviously it's one of the most important parts of the figure. So this is the one that he comes on wearing, and he also does have the movable eyes in there. He does have the interchangeable mouth plates, which I will bring up for you now, and you can see that they do include that sort of talking mouth plate as well as the standard one, and this guy actually comes with one more than what came with the Batman Begins figure in the fact that he comes with this sort of open mouth as well. Now he does also come with the Sonar Cowl, which is this one here. I'm pretty sure the batteries are still working on this guy, or they might have just died. They were working the last time I sort of checked, but this does light up pretty bright, I might add, and it does look really awesome when you have that on. Now this is the special edition of the figure, and he also comes with the empty cowl. So you can have the Bruce Wayne head on the figure holding this empty cowl, which is an awesome look. And speaking of the Bruce Wayne head, here is that head. If you do want to see a comparison between the Batman Begins figure and this one, I will be doing an in-depth comparison video, so definitely do wait for that to hit the channel, or go and check out Dean Knight's videos. He has a comparison between all three of these head sculpts on his channel, including the Enterbay one, so it looks really awesome to have all three of them on his little rotating base there, and you do get a good idea of how they all look compared to one another, so it's very impressive what he managed to do there. Now he also does come with another mouth plate, which I'll show you. It's the last one, which is the angry mouth plate, and you can see there is a gap behind there, so it does look like he does have an open mouth, which is awesome. Now he also does come with the collar piece that you slot on to the Bruce Wayne head sculpt, and it is pretty tight to get it on there, but once you get it on there, it does complete the look quite nicely, so I'm definitely glad that came with this figure. Much like the DX12, obviously, that did come with that piece. Now we'll have a look at this clip piece, which you can attach to the belt and you can use to holster the Grapnel Blaster, which is pretty much the same one that came with the Batman Begins figure, and it does have the removable clip as well. So it's very nice to see that there is some continuity, at least, with this piece from both figures, so that's very awesome. Now he does come with this pack of accessories, which you can see here. These three batarangs are all metal. He doesn't come with the folding batarang, which the Batman Begins figure does, but he does come with this mine, which the Batman Begins figure does not. So there are bits and pieces from each figure that they sort of share, and some bits that they don't. Now he also does come with these little pieces which you can slot into the front of the Grapnel Blaster, which is pretty awesome. And he also does come with these little hooks on here to attach the EMP gun to his belt, or actually the sticky bomb gun, I should say, to his belt. And that sticky bomb gun comes in two parts, much like the DX12, and it can be assembled. So in fact, to do that, you rotate this around, you pull that piece out, this piece actually goes forward, this piece goes back. That is the first half of the gun. Now this piece does come out, it rotates around, this piece comes out, and then that piece comes down, and now obviously you can plug the gun into itself, and now you have a completed sticky bomb gun, which you do push it in just a little bit more, but it's very tight, so I don't want to push too hard on it. But you can see that there is a nice level of detail, including a little red display there, which is pretty awesome. So I do like the fact that that came with that. Now he does also come with the backpack from the Hong Kong scene in The Dark Knight. So this figure is really billed as a Dark Knight Rises figure, but he does come with accessories from both of the Dark Knight films as well as the Dark Knight Rises. So I'm pretty impressed with the fact that they were able to do that. With newer Hot Toys releases, they will skimp wherever they can. If an Iron Man figure does not get seen in the film without the helmet on, then it will not come with the Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt. So I'm glad that back when they did this figure, they were not skimping at all. Now, he does come with 3 masks from some of his adversaries, the first one being the Bank Robber Joker mask, which does have a little plastic piece just to keep its shape. And it's awesome that he does come with these masks. It's very dynamic to have him displayed with this. In fact, I might have the Batman Begins figure displayed with this Scarecrow mask just because it looks really awesome. I mean, the detail on that is really nice. Even on the underside, there's some more detailing and paintwork carried on throughout there. He also does come with a broken Bane mask. You can see that there's some tears along it, and it's really well painted and sculpted. I do like that. Now, the last sort of weapon accessory is the Emp Blaster, which does slide much like the DX12 one, and there is a light just in the top there. So a lot of people were complaining that the lights weren't like all the way along, but in the film there was only one light down at the top of the blaster there. So this is pretty much film accurate, so that's pretty nice that they did include that. Whew. Now, the last accessory that he does come with is this really awesome diorama display base. Now, obviously, this isn't the first time we've seen something like this. In fact, I think one of the 1/6 scale figures were also issued this pretty much exact same display base. But either way, it still looks awesome. You've got this sort of girder and also a broken piece of an I-beam down there as well. So it does look really cool. It is a little bit tricky, as Dean says, to display the figure on that, just because you have to have his sort of knee up a little bit in order to make full use of the display base, which I wish they really didn't do. I wish it was just a flat surface. So with the accessories finally out of the way, let's get the figure himself out here and take a look at the details on the outfit. Now, I thought I would quickly show you how to swap out the mouth plates on both of the heads. Now, it's the exact same for the Sonar version as it is for the normal cowl. So basically, you can either pop it through from this side and then it pops out, or you can pry it off from the front and then you simply just apply the new one, much like some of the other Batman figures. And there you go. There is the mouth plate all switched out. Now, it's not magnetic. I wish it was magnetic, much like the new Batman Begins version, but it does still work pretty much the exact same way, and you get the same sort of intended effect. Now, from the moment I picked this guy up out of the box, I was just absolutely blown away by the detail on the outfit. I mean, they have gone to town with the level of just paintwork, sculpted detail, everything on this figure is just amazing. I mean, my eye is immediately drawn to the fact that they're these sort of carbon fiber pieces, which we did see on the DX12 to some extent, but not like this. I mean, there's carbon fiber detail and then there's like a clear resin put over the top, so there's a real depth to it, and I think that works really nicely for this suit. You can see that all of these are separate sort of pieces, and that's exactly how it was in the film. They were all separate sort of armor plates that came together to make up the suit, and I think they've done a terrific job in nailing the look of that. Now, in order to switch out the head with the Sonar head, it's just on a magnet exactly like the DX12 figure, which I do appreciate. I do like the magnetic system, and then you just obviously put on the Sonar head magnetically, which is very good. Now, in order to put on the Bruce Wayne head, you do have to remove the neck, which can be a bit of a pain, but it can be done, and you can switch it out to have the Bruce Wayne head on there, and obviously have him holding the empty cowl if you did get the deluxe version. Now, I'll spin him around and give you a look at the cape. So this is by no means an indicator of what the cape will be like on the stock version, because I never actually even took that out of the box. Once I looked at it and felt the material, I thought this was just far and away the superior cape. This is the Tony May one that the seller did include with the figure for me. I'm not going to spend too much time on it just because it's not one that you will get, but I will show you the detail behind the cape there, and it is exceptionally well done with all of the individual plates and the suit, the fabric suit underneath there as well. So they have done an amazing job with every single aspect of the suit on this guy. I'm just going to pan the camera down a little bit now and give you a look at the belt. Now, I just quickly wanted to show you the details on the belt. Now, it is a bit of a pain point for some collectors. I know Dean specifically knew that the color of the Batman Begins belt was supposed to be a little bit darker, not like the gold used on this one. And Hot Toys obviously didn't really care because they reissued this exact same belt for the Batman Begins figure, which is a bit annoying. But either way, on this figure at least, it is screen accurate and it does look very nice. Now, the belt buckle is metal, much like the Batman Begins figure. A lot of people didn't actually know that, and I'm glad that I was able to point that out to them, because this is very awesome having this piece as a metal piece. Now, he does also come with the clip-on belt accessories, this one being the drill, which is an awesome little piece to include. I'm so happy. I wasn't expecting them to actually do this with the drill that actually comes out where he was obviously getting the fingerprints from the shattered bullet from the wall, which is very, very awesome. I'm really impressed with how they've done that. Now, this piece just clips together, and then you can pop it back on his belt, which can be a little bit tricky to do, but it usually just slides on there quite nicely. Now, the detail on the fins is done exceptionally well. You can see the slots where they've obviously popped out of, which look really nice, and the detail on the gloves. I didn't actually show these in the accessory section. I'm sorry I didn't do that, but you can see that there's a little sort of Velcro tag section, and the gloss on the knuckles is done very nicely. There's more of that sort of carbon fiber detail up here as well, which looks really awesome. Now, this is unfortunately like the DX12, where when you bend the elbow, this piece sort of sticks out, which is a little bit ugly, but you can sort of work that into your pose and have it at the back side, so you don't really have to see it all that much. So it's not too much of a hindrance to your posing. As for the boots, they are identical to the Batman Begins figure, which is good in some ways and annoying in others because this is a rubber piece and it has actually loosened up a little bit over time. It's a little bit looser than the Batman Begins one, which is a very firm rubber piece, so I do suspect that that one's going to loosen up over time, much like this, but it does allow for great ankle articulation. Not much pivot, a little bit of pivot, but more sort of forward and back. You can see the range of motion on there. Now, all the joints on this guy are ratcheted, so there shouldn't be any issues with him falling over, especially if you're using that display stand. As for a side-by-side comparison, you can see that there is, for some reason, a height difference in the Batman Begins figure. He is just a little bit taller than this guy, which is very, very odd. Now, in terms of the belt, you can see that the coloring is the exact same between the two, which is incorrect, as Dean's pointed out in his videos. Now, as for the paint job, I will do a comparison video, by the way, just all the close-up details to give you a better idea. But the paint job on the mouth plates, the Batman Begins figure absolutely takes the cake. He is way, way, way more accurate in terms of skin tone and paintwork than this guy. This guy, just being that little bit older, just lacks that true realism that the Begins figure does have. Now, I did say that the boots were a carbon copy between the two. I was wrong. This guy also has the slot for the little sonar device to slot into, where this guy simply does not. This quarter-scale Batman from The Dark Knight Rises is an absolutely awesome release by Hot Toys, and I'm so glad that I went back and picked him up. Now, not only is he a terrific 1/4 scale release, but he also trumps that DX12, I think, in a lot of areas, especially in terms of the accessories and the display base and all of those things combined. This is a really, really great release. And also, this is the first quarter-scale release by Hot Toys. This is the QS001, so I'm glad to have the first ever quarter-scale release by Hot Toys in the collection. Now, I will be picking up that quarter-scale Joker. I know that I said that I wasn't sure I was going to, but now I have this guy. I feel like I really do have to pick up that figure. So do stay tuned to the channel. As soon as that figure is released, I will absolutely pick it up, probably from Tim Cent, and I will review it. So definitely do stay tuned for that. Now, also do check out my Instagram channel. I have been posting a lot more stuff there recently. I've been posting pictures of ACG HK, which was the comic event that I went to that had all of the prototype figures from Hot Toys for all of the Infinity War figures, some Justice League stuff. The quarter-scale Joker was there as well, so I do have photos and even footage of that figure in person. So definitely do check out my Instagram. My Facebook page as well is where I post, basically you'll see the Instagram stuff there as well, but you'll also see when I've posted a new video if you aren't sort of subscribed in the way that you've clicked that bell button. So in the meantime, guys, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Now, I thought I would quickly show you how to swap out the mouth plates on both of the heads. Now, it's the exact same for the Sonar version as it is for the normal cowl. So basically, you can either pop it through from this side, and then it pops out, or you can pry it off from the front, and then you simply just apply the new one, much like some of the other Batman figures. And there you go. There is the mouth plate all switched out. Now, it's not magnetic. I wish it was magnetic, much like the new Batman Begins version, but it does still work pretty much the exact same way, and you get the same sort of intended effect.